Hello.
Hi.
We're
It's
back.
your happy professors again.
Here we are again, introducing Module 4, years 1000 to 1300.
Also called the High Medieval Period.
Probably the big thing that starts out with is, from my perspective, is the Great Schism. You're going to be learning a little bit about that. If you remember from the very beginning, Christianity is all one. And when we talk about, we've been talking about the Pope and all this kind of stuff, remember, that was the Pope for Christianity. It wasn't the Pope for the Catholics. It was the Pope oversaw everyone who was Christian. So when we're getting to the Great Schism, here's where we're going to see the first split of Christianity, and some of the things that you've been doing in former modules will show you how we get to that point.
I really love listening to you. I mean, I'm serious. You're just like so articulate about this stuff. So
Good.
You wouldn't say that if you lived with her like I do.
Yeah.
My knight in shining armor.
Let's keep moving here.
Okay.
We're also the High Medieval is leading us into the Gothic period, which is quite a change from Romanesque, because we're going to move into much grander buildings as we have new architectural technologies, which means that the great pilgrimage churches can be built, and those churches then would foster the whole pilgrimage routes. The Gothic is going to bring things like pointed arches and flying buttresses and stained glass. And
you said the word buttress. That was pretty funny.
This is a college class, not high school. No, I totally forgot. Oh, and we're going to also see new art forms too, like more in illumination. So a lot of the bestiary arts are going to be cool, and we'll be looking at some of that.
Now, musically, what we're talking about is music being expanded from strictly a church activity to to a secular activity for entertainment, and now we're going to find music, original music being written with original words, love poems, troubadours, all that sort of thing. Richard de Lionheart and all those good guys who are not only rulers but are also musicians. So we'll listen to some of that stuff. We'll look at the texts of some of those poems.
So you're saying like the Middle Ages actually really rocked. Like
they rocked.
You were a leader and you wrote music. And
Yeah. It wasn't just all about going to mass.
Multifaceted.
That's right.
The other things that will come up from the empire, well, not the empire, but from the church's perspective, is Cluny is one of the great reforms. And you remember in the previous module we talked about feudalism, and we also talked about what feudalism does to the church. Well, now we're going to see where Cluny is going to start a reform movement.
I loved him in
no, not George Clooney.
In the Ocean's 11 movie.
It's a monastery called Cluny. Okay, thank you for making me guess. We're also going to be talking about two things in church from the church perspective that is not one of our highlights, and that's the Crusades and the Inquisition. But you're also going to see how church and state work together in that, and understand the church's role in that, especially in the Inquisitions. A lot of times we don't quite understand the church's role in that, so we're going to clarify that. The other thing, two things that I just want to state before I'm done talking about this module is the Mendicant orders. Remember, we've been talking about monasticism, where they kind of get in this group and they live. Well, this is a time for the church to kind of branch out, come up with other ways to serve. And Mendicant orders, which actually means order of beggars, is going to actually go out among the people and work. And so probably a lot of if you're familiar with any kind of religious orders out there today, or nuns or sisters, their orders would be Mendicant orders. So, you have Sister Sally, who's in Notre Dame. You have Sister Karen, who is a Precious Blood. Those are Mendicant orders, which means they go out and work with people. Really, in the city of Toledo, we only have one kind of monastic movement, and that's the Visitation Sisters over on Parkside. Otherwise, all the religious orders, men and women, in our area are Mendicant orders. Last thing for me is Thomas Aquinas. Thomas Aquinas is going to end this chapter, this module, from my perspective. We're going to come back and revisit just war a little bit, because he throws some added insights about what makes a just war. And he is also, he teaches at universities, so we're going to talk about the rise of universities at this point. And again, a lot of that's all offshoots of the church. because, we kind of trace universities back to what we call cathedral schools. And then they start to grow into these universities. And we've got maps and stuff like that. So it's amazing how many universities were at play in Europe during this time period.
And so, which would also connect to sort of the rise of the middle class. We'll see just the beginnings of that, the foundation of that. And some of the roots of that are laid in that feudal manor system that we've already talked about. So again, we'll see the importance of the cathedrals that we're talking about. But to connect with what Jim was saying too about music and also Pat with the Crusades is the courtly love tradition in terms of basically teaching people manners, the kind of manners that and I mean that really seriously.
We missed that course.
Maybe we should go back to that model. But because you have all these younger sons, and you have to basically take all these knights who are used to going out and doing crusades and pilgrimages and war and kind of gentle them a little bit. And so courtly love has a function much beyond just like being something romantic. And it's also the time period of the rise of the King Arthur stories. So even though the real Arthur is much, much older than this, the stories start to get codified in the Arthurian sagas, and we'll see the discussion of the Knights of the Round Table and that kind of thing. So I think this particular module is especially interesting because just from what we've been talking about, we can see so much of the modern world here in this time, from the universities to the architecture to love songs and the romances and the way we think about
church
war.
and state again.
One thing they didn't do back then was the robot, though.
That's right. Jim is doing the robot for you. So
okay,
there you go.
I was asked to do that. So
Mr.
Okay, time to wrap this up.
Anything else from music, hon?
No, that's pretty much, we're talking about getting music away from the church.
Okay. I think that's it for us, right?
Mm-hmm. Other than Constantinople, we're sort of aiming towards its destruction here.
Okay.
Eventually, but...
Yeah, we'll get to that.
This again is a little longer module, as you'll notice, because there's a lot going on in these 300 years. And again, just a reminder: use the pilgrimage maps so that you can actually see everything you need to do. Holly and I today are meeting also to work through and make sure all of our assignments line up with drop boxes and what's in the course and all that kind of stuff. And we're also going to add stops to the assignments. So that'll help you, that if you can't find an assignment, it'll tell you what stop to make sure you double check back.
And Jessica's helped us with that a lot too. So thank you, Jessica.
Yeah, thanks, Jess. And so again, and we thank you for your patience because we told you this got moved up to the first 8 weeks. So we're kind of trying to clean it up as we go through. So thanks for your patience with that. We're enjoying.
Really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And hope you're getting a lot of interesting information out of this course.
Yeah, we're enjoying you. All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.